I can't wait until I stop working for my employer. Obviously, there's still stuff I can't talk about. But once I stop working for my employer, we're going to have a little session.
Yeah, that's going to be the cold open for sure. Real quick, Olivia, let's name people who are as famous as the person he works for, but not that person. So everyone can sort of get an idea.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, definitely up there.
That's
definitely up there.
Pretty good comp.
The Kardashians.
Yeah, sure.
Michael Jackson?
Maybe,
I could say so, in different circles.
Kanye West, let's say.
Yeah, that's fair. Not anymore, I would say, but sure.
At his peak. Could we there's now that I think about it, not a lot of people are that famous.
No.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's just say this. My employer has a certain record for a certain amount of awards. That's all I'll say for now. And let's get into the show.
Elton John?
Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hey buddy.
So this is embarrassing. I don't have an intro for this week. All of our writers are obviously on strike. And so I don't really have anything for this week. So I don't know what to do. Tyler, do we maybe want to do like a live sort of situation? Tyler, you could spin your engagement ring really fast and we could all sort of watch it and cheer.
I actually don't have that one on me right now.
Fuck. Shit, guys.
Yeah, he works at a restaurant now. He can have all the ladies hitting on him. You know what I mean? Gotta make those tips somehow.
Claire got a little upset. She's like, would you wear your ring while bartending? And I said no. And she was like, what the hell?
You should probably do. Hey, Tyler, let's take a break from this little sketch over here.
Will you wear your wig while you're walking?
No. Okay, guys, happy strike for all the WGA members. Get that fucking money. Get that.
I hope the PGA goes and fucks themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very, very pro-union here, even though I am technically a producer. Does that make me the enemy? Are you guys the writers?
You're one of the good ones.
I'm one of the good ones. Yeah, I'm out here fucking chilling with Ben Affleck, being like, hey, let's fucking fairly compensate these motherfuckers and charge these huge corporations out the fucking wazoo.
Yeah, they're all making record profits, and we're making record low.
I feel comfortable with this, one, because the show isn't big enough for it to actually affect me, and two, because I've already sort of made this known, but fuck Zaslav and his whole shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's the podcast. It's a podcast for podcasters by podcasters. I'm O'Neill Henry, and this week I'm going to sort of do a live improv sketch.
I'm Tyler J. Carcara, and I don't want to say fuck Zaslav because I hope Warner Brothers hires me.
And I'm Olivia Fumiati, and I've been yes-anding since the day I was born.
All right. Each week we pitch podcast ideas to each other, and then we make them happen. I got the wheel of choosing up.
The wheel of choosing.
Oh, shit. Olivia's sick.
I'm so ill.
Spin the wheel.
No funny name for Tyler this week? What's happening?
The writers are on strike, Olivia. What do you want me to do?
Very well.
I'm going first this week.
O'Neill is going first.
Alrighty, tighty. So, guys.
What you got?
I want to make a restaurant.
Ah, shit.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
What's in the quesadilla gringa?
Okay.
Shout out the Mexican restaurant I now bartend at.
So essentially, you guys are somewhat familiar with Meow Wolf, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And their fucking weird whole
I went to the Omega Mart in Vegas.
Oh, sick. That was probably fucking cool. Haven't been yet. I want to go.
That was very cool.
Essentially, I want to do something like that. as a restaurant, but serve real food and have like real experiences. Here's the premise of the restaurant, and then we could talk about how we want to make it show.
Okay.
It's a restaurant that only serves weird food menu items, but the food menu titles have no description. And if you ask a waiter or waitress, they'll give you a vague, strange answer, unless obviously you have an allergy. Here's one example. This is just to like kick us off. Here's one example. Bread salad. It is an appetizer of different kinds of cut up bread with like some sort of either cheese or marinara sauce, but like a sourdough and a pretzel bread and, you know, regular white bread and different hardnesses. And that's a bread salad. So different weird foods that you could come up with that you would actually serve people, but the title of it and the actual food aren't real, actual culinary experiences. And the menu would obviously change season to season, and it would be a whole experiential sort of thing. And the wait staff would be like sort of actors and stuff like that.
Okay, before we go any further, I need to do the following thing. Here's me on the spectrum. I need to go to a binary. I'm no longer slightly autistic for the sake of this bitch. Okay. I need it to be known that because the way that you have described it is a sensory fucking nightmare.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. But that's the thing.
I need to like remove that. I'm autism free for the next like 15 minutes. Okay.
Right. Okay. That's the other.
Buddy,
yeah.
I got sort of just one question right off the bat.
Yep.
How is this podcast?
How high was I? Extremely.
Yeah, how is this podcast?
So these are the two things I have for podcast for this idea. Because I just want to make this restaurant. I was like, it'd be funny to pitch this idea of the restaurant. One, it could be sort of like an explainer pod about the restaurant. So if you actually want to know about the restaurant, you could listen to this podcast. Or two, you guys are chefs bringing me meals, and then I have to judge them and decide whether or not they go on the menu.
Okay, so we go from more like documentary style audio tour of this Meow Wolf restaurant to a drama about
Top Chef
to Top Chef.
This is sort of
a Whack Chef.
This is sort of a restaurant where they serve, for example, perhaps something called oyster burrata, and you're like, is that like a nice cheese with like some raw oyster on top? No, it's burrata that has been served on an oyster shell instead of bread.
Yeah, sure. Yes, exactly.
So I think I need another example other than bread salad. I think I need like one or two to really understand what kind of deconstruction or
so it's not even deconstruction. It's literally think of food, right? You know food. We all know food.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Think of food and then think of the way that food is typically prepared. But then go take a left instead of a right. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of making somebody give me just a food item.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, right? That is a combination of mac and cheese noodles and cheese, right? Yeah. So instead of mac and cheese, it's mac and peas, right? And then it's a sort of a macaroni noodle and pea dish with like a weird sauce that makes it all come together. That's the other thing. I expect this to fully be a good food experience. It's just going to be weird food items that nobody has ever put together, or tried, or eaten. You know what I'm saying?
So we get the freaks from culinary school.
Chicken sandwich. We get the freaks. We get the freaks from KFC's sort of
KFC, exactly.
Where they put the chicken on the outside.
Much like all fast food restaurants that do stunts from now and then, this entire restaurant is just food stunts. Yes, exactly.
I get restaurant. I'm into restaurant. Would go to restaurant once. Sounds like a good time. My question is, how is this podcast? You explained it before,
how is this
but
podcast?
I don't think it really stuck with me.
So is this kind of like jokey variety being like, all right, Gustav, what do you have for me today? It's like, sir, today I have for you a fruit compote, and it's just like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or some shit, or like...
It could just be the building of the restaurant, because that's the other thing. We're going to need menus. We're going to need ambiance. We're going to need,
it's more
dress for the wait. So we could build out the restaurant itself.
Podcast. But about us making this restaurant.
I would say it could either be more so like the sequel pod that we did, Return of Podcast. This week we'll return Tokyo Drift, where we just sort of, for an episode, just build out an aspect of the restaurant. This is, the seating arrangement section
family
of
style.
the pod. Fair. Exactly. We can decide how people are set. We can decide how we give, allergy notifications. We can try, because we're also going to need to come up with scripts for the different food menus. We have to come up with the different food items. We have to come up with different things. And another aspect of this that I kind of wanted to throw in here is there definitely needs to be an aspect where if you order like the corresponding appetizer and main course, then you get like a secret menu dessert item and stuff like that. I definitely want to gamify this restaurant in a way where it could be like a complete, sensory and gastronomic experience. So I think building it out could be one. I didn't flesh out as much as like the Top Chef sort of like bring me your ideas and then we judge them sort of situation. But that could be fun, sort of sketch writing-ish section of it if we want to do that.
I think the food could be a segment, but much like, to reference another previous pitched podcast, Bake Me a Podcast, food tasting does not translate to podcast very well.
No, it do not.
That's why I chose this specific idea for the podcast, because we're obviously not going to taste it, but we could also do it much like the podcast, where we each pitch different food items. Like we each pitch an appetizer, we each pitch a main course, and we each pitch a dessert.
So
and then we decide like for one section of it, how we're going to do it. Or maybe we each pitch three.
This is just chopped the restaurant.
No, because it's not stunt foods insofar as like making weird food choices. I definitely want that synergy of Meow Wolf insofar it's alt world food. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so like if I lived underwater, this is what I would eat kind of thing? Or like
if the world was slightly on a different axis, what would food be like?
This is a Cobb on the corn.
Cobb on the corn, exactly. I have another one here that's a Taco Bell hot sauce flight, where you get a flight of Taco Bell hot sauce packages that says a secret message. Because you know how the Taco Bell hot sauce packets have like a little message on them? You get them arranged in a way that gives you like a secret
like
message.
A fortune cookie puzzle.
I need another. I need another. I'm hot sauce packet. Yes, chef.
Another like aspect of this is I think it would be funny for a little podcast integration is that you could pay $5 for a Mogollon, where if you don't like what you get brought out, you can send it back and we'll send you a different.
Have you guys ever been to like a sports bar that has personal TVs at the table? Could we have personal speakers where you could listen to your favorite podcast?
Favorite podcast? That's a podcast innovation. All right. See, this is essentially the podcast I want to do. Now, I don't know form and structure and how we want to
experience, which I'm going to write down.
And maybe it's just like 4 or 5 episodes. Like if we want to like truncate it to be like, we're just going to build out this restaurant for 4 or 5 episodes and that's it, Okay. And I don't even have a title for the name of the restaurant. Or the other thing we could do is we could expand this out like even bigger and say, hey, this is a restaurant making podcast. Where every episode we have to come up with a new restaurant concept and a new restaurant, creation and that sort of thing.
Okay. I'm just thinking like in terms of, are we talking about like ground up, like the building itself, or like finding a space and then developing it to stylistically look like what we want it to look like, and then menu development, and then like opening day, or like are we going with a documentary style, or is it more like, or are we doing more of like a soundscape kind of thing where it's like kind of like a radio play where it's like what can I get you for dinner, and it's like I would like the bread salad please, and then it's like okay, order up, and then it's like chug head Jeff, we need the bread salad, the table 42, and then like it's like,
that could be fun.
It's like yes Jeff, and like
yes Jeff,
yeah. All the chefs are named Jeff. Yes Jeff.
That's pretty good.
I'm
missing a hot sauce packet.
To the
yes, Jeff.
My compliments to the Jeff.
Do you like fucking my restaurant? Yes, Jeff. No, Jeff.
That's great. I do love, I love an audio drama liver. But I do think that this podcast in specific would be more so discussing the creation of this thing. Okay. I don't know if we'll get like into logistics specifically, more so, creation of this restaurant concept before we get into, logistics and building the ground up and stuff. But so what are you guys feeling? I tossed out a couple ideas. Would you rather like build out the restaurant?
I would rather create this restaurant on podcast. I think that is the best idea here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is also more interesting for an audio medium.
So let's talk structure and form for a second. Would we rather it be like our podcast, a podcast for podcasters by podcasters, which is this restaurant podcast for restaurant creators for restaurant.
This is a restaurant podcast.
Restaurant.
This is a restaurant podcast by restaurateurs for restaurateurs.
For restaurateurs, exactly.
Let me tell you what, my dad would be all over that.
Could we get?
Do we get
Could we get? Jeff? Yes, Jeff. Could we call this podcast Yes, Jeff? And we get Tyler's dad on the podcast and we have him start making this restaurant happen. This is it. We come up with the restaurant stuff first. And then at the end, we bring on Mr. Carcara himself to judge our restaurant and see how well it would do.
As sort of a consultant.
I'm just gonna pitch a maid cafe. I'm not.
I think that would be great. So we spend like maybe 20, 30 minutes coming up with a couple of aspects of the restaurant. We sort of hammer out a couple of menu things. And then at the end of every episode, we bring on our Yes Jeff and we...
He would roast this restaurant. I can't wait.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
My dad will just walk past restaurants and be like, sweet green, terrible business. Just like...
Oh, great. Love that. Yeah, definitely would love Papa Jeff's. Papa Jeff's? Can we call the restaurant Papa Jeff's?
Oh, no.
Can we call it Surf Life Jeff's?
Surf Life Jeff's Bar and Grill.
Surf Life Jeff's I love this bar and grill.
What if the restaurant name changes every time? No, that might be a little bit too much.
That might be too much. No. You could have one of like the digital boards as the sign where you can change it.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun. Maybe by season it changes like restaurant flavor. So it's like during the summer, it's Surf Life Jeff's I love this bar and grill. During the fall, it's like it's like Jeff's place.
It's Jeff. I wonder how my dad's gonna feel about this episode. Sort of doxing.
Well, we're about to find out because he'll be on the fucking episode. He'll be on the fucking pod. Tyler.
Jeff, you have 2 weeks to get back to us.
Yeah. Do we think we can pull Jeff on the show? Do we think we can pull Jeff? How do we think?
I've got a few connections.
All right, sick.
Everybody,
I'm pretty
Jeff.
sure my dad was once feared in Food and Beverage magazine.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Maybe
Maybe this is it. Hey guys, what if this is our way in?
What if we break into the restaurant industry with Yes Jeff?
Okay.
What if it's just like a weird career pivot and like 10 years from now it's like the three of us running Jeff's I love this bar and grill. And we just give up on the whole podcast and movie thing.
Or maybe this is how our podcast sort of breaks out, is like, oh shit, we just started this dope ass restaurant. All right. Let's switch over to titles then. Or do we want to call it Yes Jeff?
Yes,
no,
Jeff.
I think it needs
No, it needs a little more.
It needs a better title that sort of tells people more what it is on the tin.
What's on it, yeah.
Okay.
The restaurant.
The restaurant. I actually hey, Tyler, that would be a great name for the restaurant as well. I think that'd be hilarious. Or the cafe, you know? Like what?
The bistro.
The bistro would be great too. Let's go to thesaurus.com real quick to see other names for restaurants.
Hibachi.
Hibachi. But then it would only be hibachi, which would be very funny.
Tavern.
The tavern.
Dining.
I can't spell Hey guys, quick. Nobody look it up. Fucking right now. Spell restaurant. Tyler?
RESTAURANT.
Fuck, I'm the only fucking illiterate one here. Whatever, I don't care.
Can we call it you guys ever hear the phrase a greasy spoon, like a greasy spoon restaurant?
No, tell me more.
It's just a phrase for a restaurant that's like, it's sort of like an off-brand Waffle House. You'd call that like a greasy spoon, or it's like a little hole in the wall where it's like you get like a big greasy.
Sounds foreign. Let's say,
No?
What about pizzeria? No, because it'd have to be pizza. I do like restaurant.
It could be like a build your own pizza, but it's
Can we
real
call
weird.
it the Hash House? The Hash.
I'm sure it's been done. I'm sure it's been done.
No, Tyler, that would be my other restaurant idea, which is a THC infused sort of menu
where they only play O'Neill's EP.
How do you guys feel about the burger? This is the burger.
burger. I feel like that would be a good.
There's a restaurant there's an actual restaurant on Sanibel Island. I don't know if it's there anymore after the hurricane last year, but there's
it got washed away.
There is a restaurant on called Cheeburger.
Cheeburger?
It's cheeseburger twice.
Tyler, we were waiting to see when you fucking get on the fucking car. Oh. It does have good mouthfeel. Only thing is we would definitely not be selling just burgers. Maybe that's like our fast food spin-off if this restaurant gets big enough when we franchise it out. It'd be
well, think of it this way. The Meow Wolf, their grocery store is the Omega Mart. You know, like it sounds vague enough to sound like a restaurant. Yeah. Like, could you call the restaurant like it just like the most off-brand, vague, but slightly dystopian
podcasts place?
Podcast place. McDonald presents podcast place.
You have to go through a secret door.
Yeah, I do love a speakeasy sort of situation. Maybe that's an aspect of it, is like a speakeasy type entrance. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to an actual speakeasy.
Yeah, there's one in Chicago. We can go when you guys are here. There's one downtown.
Oh, that would be actually great, Olivia. If you have to have a password to enter the restaurant, it's like not hard to find it. But
it's just saying a food 3 times.
You have to say maybe we come back to the name, and right now we leave it at restaurant.
I kind of like restaurant.
Yeah,
so
well, let's just say that for now, and then
we'll say that for now. If we come up with anything funnier, we'll throw that in there. All right, and then to the wheel, burger of choosing. It's Tyler.
Tyler.
What the fuck?
Tyler, for this pitch to work,
known in some circles as
Tyler, what the
That is my nickname. Here, okay, so I have. I need you guys to be aware of 2 things for this pitch to work. Are you guys familiar with master classes?
Yes. I am.
Oh fuck! Are you stealing one of my pitches, you bastard?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
And are you guys familiar with the phrase "failure is the best teacher"?
Yes.
Yes.
Those 2 cannot coexist in my mind. If failure is the best teacher, then why is Marty Scorsese teaching me about movies?
Damn, Tyler, you're just fucking coming for the whole film industry. Wow. All right, let's take a break. Tyler, take a break. Go for a smoke break. We gotta fucking do some
Wait. I'm saying he's too successful. He's not a failure. How can he teach me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
If failure is the best teacher, why am I learning from Martin Scorsese? Why am I learning from Gordon Ramsay?
Teach.
Why are those who do? Those who do. Yes. So what I am pitching is a podcast in which we take.
I just got what you're going. God damn it!
Where we take the world's biggest failures and we learn from them. We do an examination. And
okay.
Did you have a better idea?
I was thinking
that we teach people how to podcast.
Master classes. No, that is what this is. It's a master class hosted by people who are terrible at the thing they do.
Oh, okay, great. Yes, I am 100% here for it.
I love this.
So the original name I had for it was Disaster Class, but that's taken.
Fuck, really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a really good title.
I know. I looked it up a minute ago and I was like, fuck, it's taken. So I have to come up with something else.
Taken.
But this is hi. Welcome to my disaster class. I'm Jerry Springer. I'm going to teach you how to hire a prostitute. You should always pay with a check that bounces.
Yes.
You know, sort of in that for services rendered. That's sort of the vein in which this podcast is coming from.
In case it didn't make the cold open, Jerry Springer
paid for a hand job in a massage parlor with a check.
and the check bounced.
And the check bounced, yeah.
Okay. I'm here. So we would try to get the failures of Hollywood, of their specific field. Would it
entrepreneurs,
be us three?
businesses. I feel like we could be the hosts.
Let's get Elizabeth Holmes on this podcast.
Exactly. Where did you go wrong, Elizabeth?
We could get Martha Stewart to talk about how to file your taxes.
Exactly.
Okay.
We could get Guy Fieri on to talk about how to open a bar in Times Square, you know?
Yes, exactly. Okay. I like this concept. I just wonder like how we would structure it, how we would form it, and who we would get. So could it be, Tyler, just to sort of flip this, could it be each of us talking about our specific failures and how we could, teach that?
It could be a segment. Well, that's up to you guys. It's like we could bring on a guest or we could examine a different failure as ourselves, you know?
Or with Defunct Land situation, but like with other.
Yeah, that was the other sort of angle.
Yeah.
Could we could we take this as an opportunity to examine ways to not do things? We take a specific extreme failure and then break it down. That's another possible funny. It's less funny, more like history pod, but I think that could also be an interesting sort of avenue to go with this podcast idea. What are we thinking?
So is it more interviews, or like I'm just trying to decide like where we should
that's where we need to settle it down.
Interviews, or is it when we beefed it and needed to not beef it and how we could have fixed it so we didn't fuck up in the past? Like,
yeah.
Is it a retrospective, or is it like an interview?
What would be funnier? What would be funnier?
I think because again we're us, the characters could be very funny. Of like, why did it go bad? Hey, my pillow guy, why did it go bad?
Yeah. Wait, where did you fuck up? Where did it all go wrong?
I went wrong. And then there's guys that they came on the podcast thinking it was just a masterclass.
Yes, okay, yes,
yeah.
Definitely love that angle. People who we bring on, be like, teach us about your craft of filmmaking, Mr.
Who's a failure of a filmmaker?
I want to talk to you about your Avatar: The Last Airbender movie, Mr. Shyamalan.
No, Mr. Shyamalan. There you go.
There you go. I want to talk about your run on Transformers, Mr. Bay.
Yes. Well, honestly, that was a success, but okay.
Financially.
So financially,
I would say.
Let's do
Mr. Jar Jar
this.
Binks.
Yeah, let's talk about character actors with what's his name?
Ahmed Best.
Ahmed Best.
Miso was a career move.
Oh God. Another angle we could do is like bringing on successful people and then have them talk about their greatest failure. So we have James Cameron talk about filming Piranha 2. That sort of angle.
I feel like that last one you pitched should actually be a real podcast that someone does.
That could be good.
It might be. I don't know.
Where it's like we bring on, it's in the vein of like those, there are a lot of podcasts, right, where it's like this famous person on, but we don't talk to them about the reason they're famous. We talk to them about their dog or whatever.
Yes,
like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
but this one is
that.
we bring this famous person on, but we're not going to talk about Titanic. We're going to talk about Piranha.
Exactly.
We want
that could be an interesting podcast idea.
Actually.
But that one, we need a guest. You need a real guest for that one.
Need a real person for that one.
Yeah, and I
could you get your boss on to discuss? That's the thing. I don't think she's ever failed. That's kind of her whole thing.
She hasn't really had a beefer.
That's kind of her whole thing. It
takes a lot of time. That's really it. I would honestly, Tyler, if you'd be okay with moving into Bit Depth Land, I would love that.
I'm fine with moving into Bit Depth Land. That's kind of my thing.
That last sort of thing, which would be like breaking down a guest's sort of failures and then walking through that and how they learned from it. I think that could have very good. That would have very strong NPR energy.
Yes.
Also TED Talk energy.
Also, like that aspirational like. I beefed it, and now I'm successful.
Yeah, exactly.
We could have Jeff Bezos on to talk about his terrible suits from the 90s.
Shit, guys. I know someone who could be on the show. Comedian Mike Falzone talks all the time about how many times he bombed, and now he has his own stand-up show called The Crowdwork Show. I could reach out and be like, hey, you want to talk about it? Now we need a good title, though.
Disaster Class is Taken, which is
Disaster Class is Taken, which is such a good show.
So upsetting. That's so good.
It is. They've like released recently. They've released like the last 2 months.
What's their sort of premise?
They talk about doomsday prepping.
Doomsday prepping.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Not even fun. That's not even a good use of it. You could have come up with something better. Calamity Class?
Calamity Class is really good, but it feels like
or Catastrophe Class.
I think it needs 3 syllables.
Disaster. Catastrophe. Yeah, it's too long.
Calamity is better.
Calamity Class? I mean, I like Calamity Class.
Calamity Class is okay. Yeah.
The Fiasco
versus Ferrari.
Fiasco versus Ferrari.
Fiasco School.
Fiasco School. We just thesaurus. Hey guys, everybody type into your thesaurus disaster, and then somebody else top in the class.
What about
Failure Academy?
Failure Academy.
Failure Academy is pretty good. I actually really like Failure Academy. What about something like The Setback?
Ooh.
The Setback?
Ooh,
but then we would have
to.
I do like it. Only if, though, we only talk to, like, comedians and be like, your setback, like your setback in comedy, but the set that set you back, you know? That could be good. We could sort of spin it into other comedians if we wanted to. I'd be down for that.
I think I'd rather leave it open to whoever.
Yeah,
I want to cast a wide net of guests, you know?
So I like The Setback, and I like it for not comedians as well.
I like The Setback, and I like Calamity Class. And then, Liver, you had another good one.
Failure Academy.
The Failure Academy is also very good.
Failure Academy.
Maybe we come back to it.
Okay, yeah, we have those sort of...
I think it could be one of those 3.
Okay, cool. I forgot to make a doc again, guys. God damn it. I always forget to do one of these things.
Mr. Carcara's Failure Academy.
PPP number... What are we on? Number 19? God damn.
19. Oh my God, it's our last one in the teens.
Oh shit, guys. We're about to almost be able to drink alcohol.
Say goodbye to our youth. Our first half year of making this fucking
The
show.
last 5 episodes or so have definitely been our angsty, wily teenage years.
Yeah.
It makes sense
just
that
weird and angry.
It's very odd.
We're yelling at celebrities for no reason.
Yeah. Fuck the system. Yeah, we're going to mature out here soon. All right, cool. And I think with that, we're ready to move on. Liver.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I was gonna pitch this one, but I realized when I had wrote this, I was not in my right mind. But it is based off of the Rooster Teeth Immortal Snail Assassin Prevention.
Immortal Snail Assassin? Okay, why not?
No, just do it.
We're not gonna do that. No,
do it.
That's
Send
already
it.
been done. No. We have a pretty set way that we go about this show. We have structure, we have form, and we have sort of our comfort zone in our writing and our comedy style.
Yes.
And maybe this one's not funny, but this one,
Great. Loving it. Loving this energy so
episode,
far.
You're selling
pitch.
it.
No.
She's giving us the
But
hard
this
sell.
pitch is-
Hold on, Olivia. Hold on. Let me just. All right, I'm ready to carry the podcast. Let's go.
Hey, Jokes.
Go ahead.
Hey, Jokes, you're good
Jokes,
for a while.
Jokes.
You can finish your dinner.
Yeah, finish your dinner.
Don't be mean to me.
Go ahead, Liver. We're ready.
No, okay, fucking shut up and listen to me. You do this every time I pitch. I get like 15 seconds into a bad pitch, and you're like, "Let's make fun of Olivia."
You didn't even start the pitch yet.
Okay,
Listen, you
Jesus
were the one who prefaced this by saying this wasn't gonna be funny. You did this to yourself.
It has the opportunity to be funny. Okay.
Okay.
So the thing is, us going outside of our comfort zone and reaching out to other people to like help make the podcast. My idea is that it's sort of a competition every week where the 3 of us have to interview someone outside of the podcast to have us tell like an interesting story or be an interesting person and tell a story. And the 3 of us have to find the most interesting person or the most interesting story within a week. And they have to tell like a 5-minute story.
Fuck.
It's pretty good.
5 minute? Can we do 10 minute?
It could be 10 minutes, yeah.
Wait, actually, well, let's do like 7.5. We'll 10 minute, and then we'll do a cut down.
Tight 7.
10 seconds. Get the most interesting vine you can get. That's a fucking. Why did you preface it with not being good? That's
Because I'm bad
idea.
selling things. We know this. That's my whole fucking bag. I pitch last, and it always beefs first thing off the bat.
This is a fucking fantastic.
No, this is a very good
Olivia
idea.
beefs it in the 3rd pitch. That's just how it works. Every show, I end up pitching last, and it always sucks for the first 20 seconds. O'Neill makes fun of me, and then it ends up being a pretty okay idea. And I'm so sick, and I can't fucking function, and I'm sorry that my sales pitch wasn't fucking up there for you. I already came up with yes, Jeff. Okay, that's it. That's my one joke.
I can't breathe.
But no, tell me what you think about my form and structure of my podcast, which might not be funny.
It's great, Olivia. It's great.
Yeah, that's a clip for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great idea. I think it would also be hilarious and great for the show that we also do, we get our stories, right? And then we stream them, and then we get a live reaction afterwards. So like we surprise each other with what we got, and then like an interstitial is like us reacting to how the fuck we got whoever we got.
Yeah, so we play the interview, for each other.
Yeah, so we play the interview for our people, and then the afterwards is how we got them and sort of reactions to that, and then we go into the next one, and we try to every episode we try to top out the next person, sort of like a competition smart list almost. I love this. This is great. Yeah, I think this is great. I think, we all could pull some interesting people. Now, let's set out some rules then for this, or rather boundaries, because we could go small or we can go out big. Does it need to be an in-person interview, or could we do somebody online?
Yeah, it has to be in person.
Has to be in person. That makes it a little harder because, people are busy, schedules make it a little harder. Could we do it online if we have like video evidence, sort of doing Riverside-ish situation? Yeah,
that's fine. I was thinking of this more of like interviewing like strangers or like...
see, I was taking it more so, again, like Smartlist, where you just try to bring the biggest person you can try to get.
Yeah, no, this is just any interesting person. It doesn't have to be a famous person. It just be someone with an interesting
that could be interesting. I think... For competition-wise, famous people would be fun, but also like if you could just get the most interesting story, that could also be fun. So I'm for either. We kind of turn it into the Moth, the Moth Radio Hour. Sort of is a nice comp for it. You don't know the Moth? It's essentially people telling stories. It's like open mic, but for storytellers, and like you get some really interesting stories out of it. They did one at the Jam in the Van down the street a couple of weeks ago. It was very good. So yeah, this is a great idea. Now let's talk. I really want to like go a little bit deeper on this, but I don't know how to do that without going into deliberation. Do we want to just take this into deliberation?
Yeah, we could start with this.
Or do you have it? Titles.
I
don't have a title. I'm trying to think. That is literally just like verbatim what I wrote. Competition to record an interview with the most interesting person / or someone telling an interesting story within a week.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's think comps, and then let's think sort of. It's like almost Smartlist meets the Moth Radio Hour, but also we're surprising each other with like the people we get.
Yeah.
So what is that? What is that? That's a tasty soup, but what are we calling this gazpacho?
The
168 hour
account.
Interview.
Let's Olivia, can you give me a log line, or can we craft a log line out of this, and then maybe we can get a title out of it?
Yeah, competition to find the most interesting story within a week.
So. Oh, sort of like a race almost. Think like a race, like the Amazing Race, but for interviews, almost, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Amazing Interview? No. That's too much pressure.
The mediocre interview,
The mediocre interview.
What about there's something there with like karaoke because you're repeating someone else's story?
I mean, I don't think we're the one who are telling the story back.
No.
We're playing the interview. We record.
We're playing the interview. We have to record the interview,
okay.
and then Let's think of other maybe competition shows that are in the same vein. I was thinking The Amazing Race, not really Survivor.
I'm trying to think of like a capture the flag kind of thing, or like that sort of
capture the flag. Speak on that
sort of thing. I don't know, like because you're just trying to get something within a certain time frame. There's no actual challenge to it other than like the social element of it.
The social element, and I mean the time limit of it. Each week You have to find like an interesting
to find an interesting person. Like you can interview multiple people and decide, but you know that it takes a while. True. But it's like, hey, can you sit down with me for 10 minutes? Or like, you know, I'm even thinking of just like going and sitting in the park near my house and being like, tell me a story for my podcast.
Yeah. Now there are podcasts that do that, like sort of pod in the street sort of situations. But this is more so. This is a little bit more journalistic-y. Podcast in the Park. That is one I do enjoy their show. That's occasionally from time to time on TikTok. Okay, so let's think of all the comps we've laid out so far. Do you guys have any other comps ideas for what this could be, Tyler? Any other comps for this show? By the way, I don't know if we've ever said this. Comps means just comparison. It's just industry lingo for that might be too mansplaining, but I don't know if anybody knows that.
I gotta be honest, I don't listen to these types of podcasts. Interviews bore the hell out of me for the most part.
Okay.
So I don't.
You never
have
caught
any
the
comps.
Moth Radio Hour?
No.
Stranger Story Time. I don't know.
Stranger Story Time. I want to. I mean, I don't know, Olivia. This is your pitch, but I would like to lean into like the competition aspect of it a little bit more, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you feel differently, but like I think the competition aspect of it will drive us to find more interesting people.
Yeah.
And also it will like sort of drive that interstitial moment where we like talk about the interview we just listened to.
What about is there like a conference? Because we're sort of conferencing here. Like, is there
Olivia's great podcast interview?
The Story Network.
I mean, Olivia Fumiati presents an interview podcast.
It would that has unique SEO for sure.
Olivia Fumiati's The Interview.
No, parentheses, not the North Korea one.
not the James Franco. James Franco doesn't present The Interview.
James Franco will never be on this interview.
Yeah, that's our only codicil is that we can't.
This one's not for James
on.
Franco. Keep moving, James. Your brother, sure, get on here.
I'm struggling with the title here.
Yeah, I was really sort of struggling with this one. I could not think of a title.
Let's turn it sideways. Let's turn it sideways and look at it. Let's take another sort of swing at the log line. It's a competition where we try to shock.
I don't know if it's necessarily a competition. I just thought that would be an interesting thing just to motivate us.
I think I like that because I think that would motivate me a little bit more so than just like every week we have to like instead of it being the Moth, which is like specifically like a sort of humanistic, experiential sort of, you know, this is human stories. This is more so we're fucking going out here trying to get either the craziest person to interview or the craziest story.
Yeah.
And so like shocking. Is there something there? Shockcast? No.
I think.
Surprise, bitch! It's me, James Franco. Could we call it the accord, the rapport, the report, or the rapport?
What about the amazing report?
The amazing,
No.
the amazing.
Okay, I need to enter my mind palace real quick.
All right, yeah. Let's Olivia.
Hawaiian roller coaster.
wait, guys. Everybody quiet. I can hear it. I can hear the rats. They're spinning. The wheels are spinning faster. They're spinning faster.
It could be. What would be funny is the 5-minute story hour.
The 5-minute story hour. I kind of like the 10-minute story hour.
I like that
because it's kind of contradictory.
I think that's fun.
The only thing with that is that it would seem more so, at least on the tin, it would seem more so that it's 6 stories, each 10-minute long, and there's not like that interstitial element to it.
10-minute half an hour.
The 10-minute half an hour.
The 10-minute story half hour.
The 10-minute story half hour.
Presented by Olivia Fumiati and James Franco.
Olivia Fumiati presents the 10-minute half hour. The 10-minute half hour. Just take out the story part. That's the 10-minute half hour.
I kind of like the 10-minute half hour.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Oh, God.
There's the right combination. We just need to find the right combo.
Yeah, we need to just move the
Yeah. We just got to switch some stuff around. Surprise!
It's the 10-minute hour.
Happy
this
birthday!
hour is 10 minutes with Olivia Fumiati.
Olivia Fumiati's 10-minute hour.
You know,
Olivia
60 minutes. You know, 60 minutes. This is 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh, wait, hang on. Could we just call it 10 minutes? Like instead of 60 minutes, they do a bunch of stories in 60 minutes while there's a clock ticking. It's a parody.
Yeah.
And we're doing this is 10 minutes. Tick, 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 tick.
I mean, because 60 Minutes is more like interviews that like people care about, and then this one's a little bit more
Goofy.
like these are just like, you know, the everyday Joe Schmo podcast hour.
I'm still stuck on the Amazing Race thing. You know, that's I kind of. Because doesn't it feel that?
Interview.
Did either of you watch The Amazing Race?
My roommate in college was really into it, but I didn't.
That was big in the O'Neill Henry household when it came to just watching TV at night. It was like The Amazing Race and Survivor. Those were like our reality shows. But like, there is that like aspect of like surprise and challenge, and that's kind of what I want to get at. It's like that's the hook, at least for me. And Olivia, this is your pitch, so if you feel differently, feel free. But
no,
like,
I'm just any help that I can get.
For me, it's like that's the hook of it. Is like we're going to find interviews. We're gonna get people that will surprise and amaze us. The greatest podcast men.
This is the greatest pod.
The greatest pod. I kind of like the greatest podcast.
I'm not great for SEO. Gen Z 60 minutes. It's
Gen Z 60 minutes.
60 minutes for Gen Zs. It's only 10 minutes.
It's only 10 minutes. Parentheses. It's only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's genuinely. I'm just thinking of a convention that we could play off of.
Yeah. Or do we want to come up with like I think maybe we are thinking comps, but this is sort of a unique thing. Do we want to just craft something whole cloth? Because I think right now we're sort of stuck in this pocket of like parroting other names. Do we want to just come up with like a stellar name for this shit? We want to just fucking bang out a fucking good name? Fuck it. What was the log line again?
Competition to find the most interesting interview within a week.
The most interesting podcast in the world. Like the most interesting man in the world.
Oh, Tyler? Let me look that up.
I was in my mind palace, sorry.
Interesting podcast in the world.
Olivia's cold cough sick boy cast. And we only interview sick people.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Everybody enter your mind palace. I just got a low hum in the background, just sort of like mic feedback.
I love how Neil's like, everyone shut up, and then he kept talking.
That's how I think, Tyler. I think on my fucking feet. Because I'm out here and I'm fucking making it, okay?
O'Neill thinks with his mouth.
Exactly.
We knew that.
Born to be a podcaster. Oh, I've got it. Fucking finally. Jesus Christ. Wow, that took a while.
What do you got?
Here's the podcast title. You ready for this? What did you do? And this is it. Ready? It's like, that's either the question to the person we're interviewing or to each other for like the level of like podcaster we got. What did you do? Like exclamation point.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah?
I kind of like that. Yeah.
Let me just double check it and make sure that's not a thing. There is like a What Did You Do podcast. It doesn't have a huge following. Let me see. Let me scope this bean a little bit.
I have one that I'm not sure how I feel about, but I'll pitch it. Can I say something crazy?
Okay. Oh, I like that. I like that angle.
I don't necessarily know if I like the word crazy.
Oh, see, I like the crazy.
I would maybe want to substitute that with wild. Can I say something wild?
Oh, I like it. That sounds a little bit like shock jock podcasty a little bit, but I like the energy it brings. Can we combine that with What Did You Do? You know what I'm saying?
Tell me what you did.
Tell me what you did. Tell me what you did. I really like that. Let's see. Yep. Okay, that's clear. Do we like that? Tell me what you did.
Sold. Done. Get me out of this. Get me out of the naming hell that I'm in, please, God.
Yeah, Tyler's not having a good time right now.
I am in podcast hell.
Okay, tell me what you did. Podcast.
You go there occasionally, though.
Tyler's just trying to remember what's in a quesadilla.
He's just trying to remember all these fucking taco combos.
It's pollo al pastor with Mexican crema on top with a side of pico de gallo and the cheese in it.
All right, let's
Chihuahua cheese, fuckers.
Let's fucking get into the recap.
Okay, recap.
I pitched the restaurant, a new restaurant innovation podcast where we create a new restaurant and then we have Tyler's dad come on and judge it.
I pitched Calamity Class / Failure Academy / there's another one that I don't remember.
The Setback, but that one's already taken.
Okay, yeah. And that is a podcast in which we examine success through the failure of others.
Word. And I pitched Tell Me What You Did, a interview competition podcast where within a week we try to find the most interesting person or interesting story to share with each other and ask that person, tell me what you did. Now I'm just thinking, what have you done would be an insane podcast name. What have you done?
Wait, hold on. Did we? Yeah, that one. There is one, but it's like it doesn't exist anymore. I kind of like what have you done?
We'll decide. We'll figure that out.
And now it's time to go to deliberation. Now, Olivia, you did pitch another name for your podcast in the recap, which is What Have You Done? And I kind of like that energy as well. How do you feel about switching that from Tell Me What You Did to What Have You Done? ? Exclamation point.
I think it might be a little more accusatory, which isn't necessarily what I want.
I'm with Olivia.
Yeah,
I think
but
what
I think
have
that
you done is a little bit more like, it's aggressive. It's like if I was looking for a podcast and it was called What Have You Done, I would be like, oh, that's the true crime podcast.
But like, Tell Me What You Did seems a little bit more like,
what did you do? Like, what happened? Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me what you did. Like what happened? How did you get into the situation? Yeah. I think Tell Me What You Did is probably a little more. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 ideas here. Restaurant. Tyler, let's nail down. Calamity Class or Failure Academy? Which one do you want? I'm making you choose right now, on air, live.
Welcome back to Calamity Class. Welcome back to Failure Academy.
Failure Academy? All right, let me just double check that naming real quick because I didn't do a super deep dive. There is the Fail Academy. They don't really have a good podcast description. All right, so you prefer the Failure Academy. Locking that in.
Yes.
All right.
Lock it in.
How do we feel? How do we feel about these podcasts? How do we feel about, creation of these podcasts?
We got some bangers this week, I think. I think we got some good ones this week. I think we got some good ones this week. We did some real thinking.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's my pushback to yours, Olivia. It is a very good idea.
Okay.
I, Tyler Carcara, hate journalism. And this is just journalism. And I hate doing it. It gives me big stress. And I would not enjoy doing this.
I knew you weren't going to like this one. I knew you weren't going to like this one.
On the other hand, Olivia, I love journalism. I almost went to school for journalism because I love it so ding dang much. I think it could be very fun. Also, Tyler, like it doesn't have to be the moth. It can just be like a fun
It also
story.
doesn't have to be like a stranger. You could interview like your fiance.
Yeah,
tell me a story about a thing that you did.
I'm
You know
aware.
what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be.
But I do think it would also be a fun exercise in the podcast sort of era we're in right now, where we do try to reach out to the craziest people we can in a week. And then maybe that's the thing is like, I don't know if this would be a better bit depth or if it would be a better, B segment insofar as a week is a tight time limit to get guests, and if we were to bit depth it, we would maybe have a little bit more time, but again, our bit depth backlog is starting to back up a bit. So I'm wondering, like, which of these would we feel more comfortable shepherding into bit depth land, knowing that we would come back to it more?
Maybe we just say no bit depths this week, and we just make.
Well, I think bit depth has become a sort of just like running list of like, these are the podcasts we can pull from if we ever want to pull from,
Okay.
I do like the idea of bringing my dad on to rip.
I also really like the idea.
I think you'll be. Do you think? Hey Tyler, call your dad.
Call him right now, coward.
He is at work, so we'll see if he picks up.
All right, call him now.
Call your dad, see if he would be on board.
If your dad says yes, then we're doing.
We need the sign off on Jeff. Yes, Jeff.
Yes, Jeff. Yes, Jeff. The rest. You call it. Put him on speaker, coward.
I have him on speaker.
You do have to tell him that he's on the podcast.
His phone is on Do Not Disturb. It went straight to.
Boo!
I'll leave him. I should have left him a message. Damn.
Call him again.
Call him again, coward. Call him again, coward.
Dad, this isn't an emergency. I know you got it.
Oh, it went straight to voicemail.
At the tone,
maybe his phone's dead.
Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. If we can't get
Tyler's dad, we can get my dad.
Hi, Dad. I was just wanted to give you a call from the podcast. I'm on air right now.
A podcast for podcasters by podcasters. You have to say it.
By podcasters. Sorry, it's required by law. I just wanted to. I called just because I wanted to shoot you a question. We pitched an idea in which we come up with sort of crazy restaurant concepts, and we needed someone with sort of the gravitas and experience to critique them.
Both podcast and restaurant.
Both the podcast and the restaurant. This is the whole thing. And I was wondering if you'd be willing to come on the show sometime in the next week or two and sort of critique our restaurant ideas. Give you a call back when you get a chance. Bye, Dad. Love you.
Love you. Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Dad. All right, great. So we at least have that guest sort of on the books. Failure Academy is also, I think, whoa, hey guys, wait a second. We just all three, are we leaning a little bit too much into our own stuntiness with having 3 podcasts that require guests? I like this. I like this energy we're bringing. I like this sort of optimism we're bringing.
I think we've been in the fishbowl for too long that we're like, please, God.
Yeah, we do. I think we're starting to get sick of each other.
We've been doing characters with just the 3 of us.
We fucking went to the AI too. We've been trying to bring in AI.
Yeah, we literally
and it's not like this isn't like a sports or a news podcast where there's always something set where it's like, here's our topics for the day. Yeah. Like it's just you 3 go.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Failure Academy. We haven't talked about Failure Academy, and I don't know how much we want to talk about Failure Academy. I only have one person in mind that I think we could reasonably get to be on the podcast about Failure Academy, unless you two have other people that would like.
I can't think of anybody right now who would
possibly give us a phone call back.
Yeah.
The only person I think that it's like high enough, that's like successful enough to maybe be on the podcast and also does podcasting would be Mike Falzone.
Does it have to be someone who does podcasting? Could we get my dad?
No. You can also get your dad on the Failure Academy.
I don't know. He's probably failed at some point.
Yeah.
I'd imagine he's pretty successful.
What did we do last week? Snorchajagus in the morning.
Snorchajagus in the morning.
We did do James.
Okay, here's the deal. We have to do a serious one this week.
No, I don't think so. I would rather have fun.
After Phantom of the Podcast that we pulled a sneaky on you.
Yeah, got you guys. You got a little sneaky on you. You thought we were just going to do a bit.
Never do that again. Never do that again.
I am currently leaning the restaurant, also because it has podcast branding, but I am open to, the other 2 will require a bit more work, and with
getting a person.
Tour starting this week especially, I don't know how busy
I'm leaning, now here's the thing. All of them kind of require some work and a person. So
yeah, but your dad is easily accessible, Tyler.
That's true.
Yes.
So do we want to call it? So do we want to call it restaurant, barring my dad saying no, and revisit this if he does say no?
Yeah, if Jeff doesn't feel
he's like not comfortable coming on air, I think he will, because I think he wants to be on. I think he wants his own podcast.
Be on an episode.
I think he wants to be on an episode. So
Surf Life Jeff. Really wants his own show.
Yeah, that's exactly. We'll have to figure out a microphone situation for him.
Yeah, and we can just plug him into Riverside because Riverside, works perfectly well with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with that too. I think this is it.
I don't know anything about restaurants, so it's gonna get fucking weird, and I'm gonna really embarrass your dad. So. And then I have to meet him.
I'll come up with the drink. I'll be bar manager. I'll come up with the drink.
Bar manager. Yeah. Do we want to quickly assign tasks for everybody? I'm fine doing weird food stuff. I'll just keep on ruminating on it. Or maybe that's the A segment of the podcast.
You could be the maitre d', the design,
the art director.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we should all collaborate together.
Yeah,
maybe that's one part of the.
We'll have to come up
one
with
part of the pod.
Uniforms. What will
uniforms, exactly. Now, is this a new restaurant idea every week, or are we just updating Jeff on our progress every single time?
I think it should be updating our progress,
and
then
Jeff,
by the end of the series, he'll give us the green light,
the investment,
the thumbs up, or the thumbs
likelihood that we success.
Yeah.
What city do you think we should do this in?
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely a part of it
to maximize our chances.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, I got to be honest, I don't think a restaurant like this would work in Chicago, but maybe a city with a more contemporary art scene.
Like Los Angeles or New York.
San Diego,
Texas,
maybe. Austin, Texas.
San Diego.
Austin.
Vegas, even.
Vegas, it would be big in.
Get some of that Guillermo del Toro money and have this be a part of the Meow Wolf sort of universe, Do you guys know that?
He's like really huge, interesting.
He's like the biggest investor in Meow Wolf.
Interesting.
Yes, he is.
Cool. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages with the restaurant.
God damn it, guys!
My dad, Jeff Carcara,
sucks. SEO fucking blows. Hey guys, we also don't have an ad segment because the writers are on strike. So instead, we're just going to talk about.
I actually do have an ad segment. My ad is for unions. They help
Yeah,
you.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted rights in the workplace? Try unions. Have you ever wanted to be paid a fair living wage? Try unions.
Have you ever wanted to actually make money off of your art? Try unions. This episode is sponsored by unions, especially the WGA, who is currently on strike right now. Fucking strike against these fucking greedy ass CEOs and PGA assholes who are fucking trying to keep writers from being able to continue their craft and continue the legacy of writing as a profession.
Yeah, no writers, no shows, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not just like putting words on a page, it's rewrites, it's collaborating with production to see what's feasible. Like it is a job that AI can't do.
Not even close.
Not even close. And anyone who says that is a weird Elon stan.
Yeah, it's one of those.
You think AI could have written Westworld? I don't think so.
No, it's not self-aware enough.
God, I hope not.
God, I hope not.
I did write it.
I think another thing that people don't quite understand is like that writing happens in post-production as well. Writing happens after you have recorded everything and you realize that some things didn't quite pan out as well. Yeah. And so you have another writer at the end who comes in and like rewrites everything. And when they say like the writing happens in the edit, that's literally with a union writer, a WGA writer who comes in and like makes your show better. Anytime, if you watch like any of those shows between like late 2008 and like early mid 2009, like those shows that came out then that are kind of bad, that's because of the writer's strike, and it was weird in a bad time.
The rise of reality TV is directly tied to the late 2000s Writers Guild strike.
I'm not a huge fan of reality TV.
As someone who's worked on reality TV, not a huge fan of working on reality TV.
Yeah. So like, one, support your WGA members, and then
swing by the Netflix offices, bring them some cookies. Stand on the picket line with them if you can.
Yeah,
Stand
exactly.
on the picket line. Make a good
and if you're not
picket sign.
And if you're not in one of the coastal area, New York, LA, Chicago, where there's a huge confluence of writers, maybe just reach out on social media supporting writers and the writers strike. I'm assuming at some point, if this goes on for long enough, there might be a call to arms as far as like unsubscribing from your streaming service for a little bit, stuff like that, which will really show them that we're in support of writers. So just keep in mind,
for those of you who don't know, streaming services, despite their budgets being as big as network and studio stuff, pay less because it's considered like internet work, content. Which is ridiculous.
Which is ludicrous.
So someone who works on Stranger Things, even writers crew are paid less than someone who works on fucking Chicago Fire or whatever on network
exactly
TV.
Because they don't get residuals, they don't get that thing, and you are seeing writers. I think there was a story. One of the writers on The Bear, the chef show, literally had a negative bank account, had to put his fucking bow tie on his credit card and go in debt for going to the Emmys and like the Writers Awards and stuff like that, because he couldn't afford from the streaming services. He wasn't getting that revenue, that kickback from one of the most popular shows on streaming. I
think a lot of people see Hollywood and they see like the glamour and rich, but 99% of the people that working in it, writers, crew included, are just blue collar workers that are middle class, lower middle class, making, And
Hollywood is expensive. It's expensive
to live there. As someone about to move there, yeah, it is. My rent's going up about $600. So support the WGA. That's all.
Support the WGA.
Sign me up for the union. Bring me my union card.
Yeah. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks and throw them at Zaslov's face.
Decent pay. Healthcare and childcare. More of us.
All right. Anyway, also, rate us 5 stars on iTunes, Google Play, podcast, wherever you get your podcast. It really does help. Keep on replying to the Spotify.
Reply with WGA support.
Yeah, reply with WGA support. And check out our website.biz. I've been noodling on the updates. I just haven't sent them published the updates yet. But we're going to have some fun stuff, just like stats and fun stuff
Yeah, we're
like
going
that.
to try and do some pie charts for good episodes.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to work that, but it's going to be fun.
Stats, you know,
yeah,
like all kinds of stuff we're going to work on.
It'll be fun. Very excited for all that. And share the show with your friends. We really do appreciate it. We're going to start, I haven't told you guys yet, but I'm ordering business cards for us to just sort of start handing out with like little QR codes and little, nice. The Spotify scan you can do.
That's great.
That'll all be there too.
Excellent.
But yeah, thanks so much for listening.
So if you see us on the street,
fucking
ask for a business card
and we'll be able to send that to your friends. All right, so without further ado, we'll be back to you with the restaurant.
Featuring my father.
Featuring Jeff Carcara. Yes, Jeff.
Yes, Jeff.
Yes, Jeff.